Who likes cheap phones? You do. Everyone does, obviously. And Motorola has two new ones, Moto G Stylus and Moto G Power. Motorola's making the best cheap and budget phones for years. The Moto G series has been our recommendation for good cheap budget phones for a while, and you get a really good phone without breaking the bank. And now Motorola has two new ones, the G Stylus and the G Power. They're effectively follow-ups to last year's G7, and they share a lot of things in common. Both of them have a Snapdragon 665 processor, both have Android 10, both have 4 GB of RAM, both have a 19:9 6.4-inch display, which is even bigger than the ones on the G7 last year. Both of them have triple camera arrays. There's no notches anymore. Both have this nice hole punch camera system, which just looks a lot better. USB-C charging with 10-watt fast charging, no wireless charging on either of them, fingerprint readers built into that Motorola logo on the back, and of course, 3.5mm headphone jack, keeping it alive. The more interesting of the two new phones is the Moto G Stylus, which, as the name implies, has a stylus. It's Motorola's first phone ever with a stylus, and honestly, stylus phones on Android in 2020 is really still rare. The only other major phone that I can think of that has one is the Galaxy Note 10 and the Galaxy Note 10 Plus, which Samsung released last summer starting at $950. This phone has a stylus, and it costs $299. The stylus here is really basic as stylus goes. It doesn't have the fun clicky thing to fidget with like Samsung does. There's no button on the side to take pictures. You can't connect it via Bluetooth. But if you like writing on your phone without spending nearly $1,000 on a phone, well, this is A, the only option, but B, looks like a good one. Another feature Motorola has with the stylus is a new app called Moto Note, which lets you just take the stylus out and you can start writing on the screen immediately. You don't need to unlock the phone. The stylus also has the better cameras of the two. It has 3 rear cameras. The main camera is a 48-megapixel quad-pixel camera, which shoots down to 12-megapixel shots. There's an 117-degree ultra-wide-angle action camera, which is actually borrowed from last year's Motorola One Action. It's actually pretty cool. What it does is the camera sensor is rotated, so if you're holding the phone vertically, it shoots horizontal video. Don't shoot vertical video, guys. Just don't do it. Don't do it. The last one is a macro camera. The Moto G Stylus also has a laser autofocus system, which should let it focus faster while you're taking photos, which the G Power doesn't have. Motorola has also made just 1 or 2 minor tweaks to the phone in terms of how it interacts with the pen. There's a quick pop-up menu that shows up with some of your favorite apps, so that will show up when the stylus is there. It's useful. Samsung actually also has something very similar with its own pen. If you've ever used a Galaxy Note, you've probably seen something similar. On the other hand, you have the Motorola G Power, which, as the name implies, has a big battery. It has actually a huge battery. It's a 5,000 mAh battery, which is basically the biggest battery that you can put in a smartphone. And when you combine that with the lower spec processor, that Snapdragon 665, Motorola says that you can get up to 3 days of battery life. Given that this is a cheaper one, there's a few things that are different. There's no stylus, obviously. The cameras aren't quite as spec'd out. The main lens is only 16 megapixels instead of 48. There's no action cam feature, it's just a regular ultra-wide lens. But it does have that macro feature, which you can still use to take those really cool close-up shots. So those are the new Moto G phones. They start at $250 for the Moto G Power, which has 64 gigabytes of storage, or $299 for the Moto G Stylus, which has 128 gigabytes of storage. Motorola hasn't given us a release date for either of them yet, but if they're anything like the last few years of G-series phones, they'll probably be really good budget Android phones. We'll find out more when we test them out later this year. Thanks so much for watching. It's snowing outside, so we're gonna wrap this because I really wanna go walk out in the snow. It's really nice. We haven't gotten snow in New York in 6 weeks. It's ridiculous. I want winter.